Back here with the one-timers. Matt's on the phone from Minneapolis. Justin here. We broke down Group A. Now let's get a look at Group B. And this is kind of a tough group, just in the sense that you got the two World Cup finalists from 2010 in the same group. You got Spain.
Has it ever happened? It's amazing.
I don't know. That's a good question to look up for the statisticians. But you got Spain, the Netherlands, a very good South American squad in Chile, and then Australia, who's always, they were dangerous in that 2006 World Cup.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, I feel there's only a few rules. You can't have the two the defending finals participants in it. It's kind of interesting. I mean, from what I know, I think it seems like Netherlands is kind of not quite. I think they kind of got ran around in Euros. They haven't really been doing that well. I didn't want to qualify, but Euros they kind of looked a little lost. And I mean, Spain just continues to dominate. So, but I mean, the Chile is a dangerous side. I don't know. They have a lot of good attacking players. They have a lot of good young players. And another thing, I don't know, a point that we haven't touched on yet that I think is something that's kind of looked over in the World Cup a lot is it's kind of a way for a lot of young players from countries like Chile to get on the map. If a guy from Chile has a huge tournament, he can be looked at by a club in England or a club in Germany.
Yeah.
And it's kind of almost like the NFL. If a guy's in a contract year, it's a way for them. They're not only playing for the country, but they can get a big payday as well. Absolutely.
And I think, obviously, I believe it's Alexis Sanchez from Barcelona. He's playing for Chile. So that's a big name there for Chile just to begin with. And then, like you said, a lot of the young squad, a very interesting squad to me because if I'm not mistaken, I think they were absent in that 2010 World Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a lot of young players really getting this team onto the big stage, and I mean you're in the same continent, so it's easier for your fans to get over there into Brazil and root them on. And I mean you're taking on, like we talked about, the last World Cup, the two finalists. You got them in the same group. You got a big chance here to show what you can do.
It's going to be interesting to see. According to my stats here, Chile had 10 of their 16 goals were inside the 6-yard box. So I'm not exactly sure how they were scoring, if it was a breakaway or if it was a header. But going against two experienced sides like Netherlands, I don't know how many of those goals are going to be wide open where they can just tap them in. So we'll see how that works. But I mean, this one I want to mention, Australia. Probably my favorite nickname in the tournament since Netherlands is out, but the Socceroos. I believe Tim Cahill's still playing.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they're usually on the back end of something 4-0, but I don't know. Too bad for them.
Yeah. Obviously, the 2006 World Cup, Australia really burst on the scene because that was still when they were playing in the Oceania. And they had to beat Uruguay in a penalty shootout in the Intercontinental Playoffs to even get into the World Cup. And then that's when they had a fantastic World Cup. I forget who all was in the group. I know they beat Japan on a late header. And then they also they drew Croatia 2-2 in a really wild game where one of the players from Croatia got like 2 red cards, but was only sent off one of the times. There's a lot of drama in that. What's that?
A late penalty as well in one of those games?
I think so. Yeah, and then the round of 16, they lost to Italy on a debatable penalty because it was I believe it was late in the stoppage time of the game. There was kind of you could call it either way, but kind of a weak penalty in a sense that gave Italy the win 1-0, and then obviously Italy went on to win the World Cup. So a very good 2006 campaign. Now, granted, I understand that was like 8 years ago. But 2010 was a little bit different story, but that's also because they had the worst luck. I mean, I think at one point, if it could have been for their whole group stage, that they were playing they had more minutes with 10 men than they did with the 4-11. I mean, there's red cards for them in each of the games. I mean, one of them was a goal line clearance, and the guy had his arms behind his back, but hit him in the shoulder, got a red card. It just really kind of an unlucky campaign for him. they really couldn't showcase what they could do. So I'm sure they're.
I just don't know. It's hard when you're that. So it seems like they're kind of an isolated country. I just don't know. I don't know. I can back this up, but I feel like it has to be hard for them to get the chemistry going. Maybe it's travel, or maybe it's they're such an isolated country. I don't know if that's a factor, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna move forward my prediction.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to go against Spain. There's so much. There's probably this. I think it's probably one of the deepest team in the whole tournament. Their second team could probably get out of the group. In almost every group, and it's just about that good. And so I think they'll do a good job. The first game, really, Spain Netherlands, first one. If they tie, the group's kind of wide open, but whoever wins that might take control of the group. I think Netherlands gets out. I mean, I'm a little biased. That's one of the teams I cheer for, but they just have so much talent, so many guys who are on big-time teams that are so used to big moments. The thing I worry with Netherlands is the climate is going to be hard. It's so much different than what they're used to, especially a lot of players are from Germany, England, and playing there. And I think another thing that worries me with Netherlands is they have so much miles on their legs. I mean, Robin played all the way up until the Champions League semifinals. So a lot of their players, I think there's a lot of miles on them combined with the climate. It could be tough. I think Chile will definitely threaten, but I think if they won Spain to Netherlands.
Okay, I agree with you on Spain. I think Spain, not to say they're head above everyone, but they're really good at what they do. They got it perfected. They've won all the major tournaments coming up to this. I think Spain wins the group. Now, on the other hand, I think Chile is going to get the job done. I think Chile is going to be the second team out of this group, because I don't, like you said with Australia. To me, Australia had a really rough qualifying campaign where they were losing on the road and drawing on the road to teams like Jordan and a couple other smaller nations that really aren't World Cup caliber in a sense quite yet. I think, and with the Dutch, they had a magical run in 2010, but that Euro, I can't get that Euro out of my mind. They were in the toughest group by far because they had, I believe, Germany, Portugal, and Denmark. But if I remember correctly, I don't even think they grabbed the point. I think they got beat by all three of those teams, and that to me just.
Yeah,
that to me just, I think, a very young Chile squad, quite against these veterans, like you said, with Robin and Robin van Persie, Wesley Sneijder. I really think Chile can beat them and get the points they need. Now, the good news for all of us watching it is going to be that they play the last game. The last game of the group is those two together. So more than likely, you're going to expect that to really decide, in my opinion, who's going to go. Well, both of our opinion, who's going to go second.
Probably.
Yeah, because you would think that Spain would have beaten both of them up to that point to get the points needed. But I got Spain and Chile.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
Definitely excited that June 13th match. I think the rematch, no matter how you think they're going to be, it's going to be the second day of the tournament. A rematch of the finals. Definitely, I doubt that's ever happened in the group stage. It's going to be very exciting. So definitely one to look for.
Yeah, I agree. So I got Spain and Chile. You got Spain and the Dutch.